All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining this morning for our latest installment of Solutions for Success. My name is Jonathan Hamilton. John Zeri, who is on camera, will be your lovely presenter today. And the topic that hopefully you can see on screen is around Microsoft Intune and how it can help increase your productivity as well as meeting your cybersecurity requirements. So we have done some sessions on Intune and Endpoint Manager in the past, explaining a little bit about how to deploy this technology from a device management perspective. Today, I think John's going to take you a little deeper, not only about the technology, but the increasing requirements of organizations when it comes to insurance and protecting themselves against cybersecurity, the importance of this and how the Intune product and platform can actually assist in some of those discussions with your insurers or prove to them some of the measures that you're taking to ensure that you're following best practices and that the likelihood of a breach or data loss would be less with some of this technology. So anyways, without further ado, I will turn it over to John.
Thank you, Jonathan, for an introduction. And hello and good morning or good day, everyone. Again, our session is only half an hour, so this is going to be a high-level introduction and information. And of course, if you require more detailed deep dive into the product, we'll be happy to provide you at a later time. But that's it. Let's just go over our agenda. So we're going to be just a brief who is Point Alliance, in case you are not familiar who we are. Talk about security and how critical it is. Benefit of using the endpoint management software, Microsoft Intune, and we're going to jump into the live demo. Point Alliance is a Microsoft Gold partner with the 11 competencies. We are proud that our team is 100% certified, and you can find more information about Point Alliance at our website at pointalliance.com/company profile. My name is John Zeri. Again, that's my email address, and you can find me on LinkedIn. And again, I love all and everything about Microsoft products, and I'm happy to be discussing about the Intune and the security today. So again, there is no surprise to any of you that the security is the top of the mind for all the IT leaders and CTOs. And again, as you can see, some of the recent surveys has been done. The security tops 42% of the top list of the CTOs. And they think that they're going to be investing more and more into the security going forward, especially with the adoption of the cloud. Again, there's as you are aware, security is again critical for any business, because as we are experiencing higher volume of the sophistication and cyber attack, and it's not just the old-fashioned, you get an email with the attachment and was a virus on it. And so actually these people are going bigger and trying to interject into your conversation and find ways to scam companies or retrieve financial. Again, the risk is growing more and more because of the hybrid work that we are experiencing right now. So again, we are not surrounded by the boundaries of our offices anymore. Extension of the offices are people's homes and the kitchens and desks and so on. So it could be traveling, could be at home. So we just need to make sure that we can protect people end to end. And these are some of the numbers, the ransomware increase has been up by 300%. Again, 23% of the companies experience a cyber breach. This is massive numbers. And the cost of it is about average $100,000 per business. Personally, at Point Alliance, we have seen that with the people who have reached out to us and run into this problem in the recent weeks. And so again, you probably know someone this has happened, and our goal is to help you to prevent this to happening to you. So again, as a theme of our today is about Intune, and that's a device management, right? So that's what we're trying to protect right now. We need to protect our cloud. We need to protect our endpoint as well to make sure our environment is secure. And security is again an important factor within the device management, but it's not the only thing. And again, I highlighted some key benefits of the device management here. Reduce IT administration, improve end user productivity, reduce IT risk, optimize mobile device spending, enable enterprise growth. And I'm going to touch on this a bit more on each item. So reduce IT administration is, for example, when you're enrolling a new device to the end user, an IT person probably need to spend anywhere from hour, sometimes to 4 hours to just build a laptop for the new user. Imagine if you can reduce that time to 25 minutes or 15 minutes even. Improve endpoint end user productivity. You're gonna deliver a consistent experience no matter who enrolled that device. And also that allows you to be able to kind of ship the device to the user and they can enroll themselves. Reduce IT risk. With the device management, you always can be ensured the end user device is running the latest patches and latest updates and software. So again, this is on a manual process, just happening behind the scene. And one thing I want to touch on when we talk about endpoint is not just your laptop. Could be mobile device, your mobile devices could be Android, iPhone, iPad, or laptop. Or if your organization use more advanced technology like a HoloLenses, it could be even that. It can be protected. Optimize mobile device spending. So that's very important. The larger the organization gets, the less organizational control how many devices they have out there and how many of them being used. So using a device management will allow you to actually look at it and say, okay, we have 400 mobile devices in the field. How many of them actually being used? When was the last time that device was used or those things? So again, you might be enrolling devices that's not being used and just sitting on somebody's desk. So you can you can have some saving there, but just enrolling the devices that people needed and not the one that's sitting on the shelf. And also enable enterprise growth. So let's just say your organization going to the growth, you need to hire 10, 20, 30, 40 people. Can your IT team handle that to enroll those devices? Again, endpoint manager and Intune will help with that. So again, our focus is on a Microsoft. When we talk about the device management, we talk about Microsoft Intune. Again, Microsoft Intune is a cloud-based endpoint management solution. And that's a great thing about it because it's cloud-based. You don't have to install any software, all managed through the cloud. You manage it, you do all the things there. And you're going to see in my demo how easy it is to um, use and manage devices through Microsoft Intune. You can manage a user's access, devices, the apps they need to do, and everything to go with that. And again, we will demo all those to you. So again, all in one place through the Microsoft Intune. Again, why Intune and not some other product? Well, first of all, Microsoft Intune sits on a Microsoft Azure infrastructure and in direct connection with your Azure Active Directory. And again, we will be posting this presentation online. You can look at it. There's lots of information on this thing. But again, the important thing is that most likely the license you have already have a licenses for Microsoft Intune into it. So there's no additional cost. And also when you're enrolling someone into your Microsoft Cloud, they get the licenses and they get the email accounts, automatically they could be part of this. So you don't have to worry about it. Okay, what should I do with this? And oh, I need to go to the third-party tool to do the connection and add them there and manage them there. All happen in one place. And this will allow you to have a better control of the how user accessing the data with the corporate data and how is the device need to work and so on in one central place. Again, the key features and benefit of the Intune is that Microsoft Intune support Android open source, iOS, iPad, Mac OS, and Windows client. Intune simplified the app management within built-in app experience, and we show you how easy it is to kind of be adding the apps to the devices and decided who should get those apps and so on. And again, the important part on whole thing is a web-based admin center. So you don't have to install anything on your on-premise at all, and does not have to rely anything on your on-premise infrastructure. So one of the we know that Intune provide lots of secure those things, but one factor again I touched on earlier is the endpoint experience and overall employee satisfaction, which is very important. So endpoint analytic can help you proactivity make improvement, reduce the amount of support tickets. There are tools built into it that actually monitoring the user to see, okay, for example, Office is crashing. Why is it doing that? Actually, will remedy all those things by itself automatically. You might not even have to worry about it. You can look at the log and see, okay, how many times that self-healing software has done what it need to do. So again, those are the things that take away from you. Application reliability dashboard. That's another great feature. You might be enrolling a new app and people reporting issues. So you can go to the dashboard and say, okay, why is that causing this issue? And you can also look at based off the devices you have. Is that happening on all the devices or just some of the devices? And that will help you to remedy it and resolve the issue very quickly. Endpoint analytic can access the performance of the most critical activity use application. We talk about that. And insight also on the user's experience. So if the user reporting that I have a difficulty with my device as not behaving, you actually can go to the dashboard and look at it. Okay, is it a startup problem? What is happening? Even you can collect diagnostic remotely for that machine. So if you need to open a ticket with your vendor and you say, okay, there's an issue with this machine, you need to go to the warranty process, you don't even have to reach out to the user. You can easily grab those information and send it to the vendor and get the process started. The other for the element of the user experience is a remote help. So you can either use a Microsoft Remote Help or use a tool like a TeamViewer, which has a built-in support into the endpoint and the devices. So if you need to provide a support by the end user, you can instantly remote to that machine using the either of those software and help them through the process of the helping those things. So again, those tools are tremendous in helping. Again, we don't have a luxury of the old days that walk into the person's desk. The person could be anywhere now. So again, that's a huge element. One of my favorite parts of the endpoint manager is called Windows Autopilot. This is amazing. Again, in this example, we are showing you that how Autopilot works with the Windows devices. So imagine you have a staff member that need a new device, and they could be anywhere. And again, they are not working from the office. So what you do, you order a new device for them. It could be any type of laptop, could be, doesn't matter which vendor it is, and you ship it directly to them. They turn on that machine, they log into that machine, and based off because your device management is set up to kind of recognize the user of the domain, the device build itself as you were building that device for them, right in front of the eyes, in a matter of the minutes, and user could be up and running in no time. So instead of having the device get shipped to your IT department, or need to spend hours to build it, then you need to ship it to the user and go from there. All those things can bypass and easily be done. The autopilot idea, again, with the Windows called Autopilot, but the same scenarios could be applied to your iOS devices and your Android devices as well. So again, imagining you buying an iPhone device, you ship it to your end user, they turn it on, and it says, for example, in the case of Point Alliance, it said, "Welcome to Point Alliance." The brand new iPhone was wrapped. Same thing with the Android devices. You turn on the Android devices, you need to go through a very simple process, and that Android device will build it right in front of the user without IT involvement. That said, I have a short video here I'd like to share with you. Just I'm gonna go up 1 second. Give me 1 second. I will do that shortly. And I need to reshare my screen here so you can hear the audio. I apologize about that. 1 quick second.
In 2019, SMBs spent $6 billion on IT, and they're looking for ways to spend that money more efficiently, like helping to make IT more productive. On the other side, 91% of employees crave modern technology solutions so they can be more productive and technologically relevant. And to make things more interesting, remote work is now commonplace, so companies need to deliver devices and support to those remote employees, wherever they are. But remote work isn't without its challenges. Maintaining device security and preventing data loss are big, because 69% of SMBs in the US have lost sensitive data in security breaches. Windows Autopilot helps companies deal with these and other common IT challenges. Users receive a new in-box device directly from the OEM or reseller partner, or a repurposed device from IT, and simply unbox it, log in, and take off. Within minutes, Autopilot automatically installs the apps and settings. IT never has to touch the device, so configuration and setup can be done from anywhere. Instead of maintaining images and handling devices, IT just sets them up in Microsoft Intune, adds any apps and settings, and chooses a setup experience for users. Partners can also register devices with Autopilot on their behalf, so users receive new in-box devices at their home, office, or even while traveling. And once employees turn on their shiny new devices, Autopilot can set them up anywhere an internet connection is available, like a hotel room. Better still, it improves employee satisfaction by requiring only a few simple steps, making their new devices ready in just minutes. That includes applying all the user, device, and app policies that IT pre-configured, like enabling BitLocker so the device is secure from the start. Windows Autopilot enables IT to deliver ready-to-go devices directly to users, frees up IT hours, and improves employee satisfaction. Get started today with Windows Autopilot.
All right, and I think no presentation could be done without a graph from the Gartner. You know, that's all shows that you can see Microsoft is on the top quadrant as a leader in the endpoint management tool, and which again, based off our experience over the past many years in running devices, we definitely agree with that statement. And one disclaimer about that video: the drone delivery is not available yet. So I just want to make sure we don't set a false expectation here. That's it. Let's just jump into our demo. Just give me 1 moment. All right. Should be able to see my screen right now. And we're gonna jump right into this. All right. So again, to get to the Intune, you come into this page. And again, there is this, so I need to clarify a couple of things here. You can see on the top says Microsoft Endpoint Manager Admin Center. Endpoint Manager is a top layer of the device management, which consists of Intune, and on-premise device management, which is a system manager. So that's why the name is there. But again, the tool, the that we will be using on cloud. It is Intune. So as we log into this, we just gonna go to the dashboard, show you a few things. Right from here, you can see lots of information about your device enrollment, device compliance, configuration, if there are any apps have an issue, and so on. And there are a bunch of services available here. So when we think about device management, there are devices, there are configuration, and there are apps that need to be done. So we're gonna go to devices first. And you can see on the left side here, we have Windows devices, iOS, and so on. So we're gonna be focusing on the Windows part here, and we're gonna go to devices. And so I'm gonna go to my demo device, Tom. Tom didn't have a good game here last night, but nonetheless, we're gonna use him as a demo here. You can see that right off the bat, we can see it's managed by Intune. It's a corporate device, compliant Windows, what version of the OS is running, last checking, and what's the username. So when you go into the user, there's lots of information you can see about the person and their device. So we go to properties, and what property it is, you're going to go to hardware. So we can see this is a Dell device, what model it is, how much space they have, how much left on it, and so on. So just by looking at this, these are all very useful and important information. Another important thing, as you heard on the video, is that the fact of is that it really doesn't matter what device you have, right? So in the past, what IT professionals did, they created images of the machines they bought, and again, if they got a new model of laptops, they had to build a new image of those things. With the Intune, you do not have to worry about that. Again, the configuration that you set up will adopt itself to that hardware and will install it. So you never have to build the image again going forward. Then we can look at this device to see if it's compliant or not. Yes, we can see based on what we set to be a compliant device, it checked all those boxes. We can look at the device configuration. Again, we have set up a bunch of configuration for this user, and they all show successful. Recovery key, again, as you heard on a video, it is very important. The devices are encrypted and with a BitLocker. So all this information about the BitLocker is available within the profile for that device, and you can look at the recovery keys if need to be. User experience, we touched on this earlier. How is this device behaving, and so on. We can look at the overall stats, look at the system performance, and we can see, okay, when was restarted and what has caused. Look at the application reliability. And again, that was mentioned. So there is no issue here. Everything working well. And this is working from anywhere, right? Windows, cloud identity, management, and providing. So again, this machine scores very high, and we don't have to worry about it. Device diagnostic, if we had requested that, would be showing up here. So again, it's very easy. If I go back to the top on here, you can see there's an option to say collect diagnostic. This usually takes a short period. Once it's collected from the machine, you can download the zip file from there. Manage apps. What apps this user have access to, and what apps is waiting to be installed, and so on. You can see we just push the polylens, so waiting for install status. Everything else is installed, and also you can look at the options that is not installed and then was set to be uninstalled, or what is available on the company portal, so available for install. Again, company portal is your company's personal app store, basically. These are the apps that you have already added to your portal and is allow the user to install it if they need to. Again, it take a couple of seconds to load. The nice thing about this, because by default, your user will not have admin access to the devices, right? You don't want people have that. So what you can do, you can have these apps ready for them. And if they need to install any of those things, because it's been provisioned through the Intune, they will be able to install it without needing help from IT. So we have provisioned a bunch of apps here. just for the as a sample, and they can go install any of this if they choose to. Then we're going to look at the apps here, right? So actually, we're going to go to device configuration and so on. So we're going to go to Windows and look at the configuration profile. Again, as Point Alliance, we've been involved with the device management for many years, and basically we have built many of the options available. It's like a buffet of options here. And again, your organization might not need any of all of this, just maybe some of them, or you might have needs that is not listed here that we can do. So anything from BitLocker to your device restriction, how is the Edge Chromium work? What features you should have? In our example, for example, you can look at our browsers. We have added a section called Point Alliance Favorites, and it has a bunch of items underneath of it. So we have locked that thing and added to every browser. So that's a useful tool for our staff to get access to the things they want and they use frequently. You can do the same thing for Chrome if you choose to. Interactive login message. You know, when you log into your device and give that disclaimer that the device is property of organization, you want to do that, you can manage it from there. Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, of course. Office, network time. How is the OneDrive going to behave on your machine? Again, with the Microsoft 365 and collaboration, OneDrive play an important role. You want to make sure that OneDrive is enrolled on all the machine and is set up correctly. A startup taskbar, how are we managing those things? In that case, you can see that on our menu system here, we do have the Point Alliance favorite here we set up. Again, you can do those things for make it easier. The rest of them is available to our staff to update as they wish. But so here we can have the apps that you think is frequently be used for the user. So you can assign those and place it there. A trusted root certificate in case you need to talk to your backend system. So we set up the root certificate to allow you not just by authentication, but allow you even with the Windows Hello. So if your devices are capable of Windows Hello and you're able to authenticate to your machine through the PIN or through the face recognition, the trusted root certificate will allow you to authenticate with your backend system and VPN. Wi-Fi. Again, Wi-Fi seems simple, but again, become a major security issue because most organizations, they don't change the Wi-Fi or they have one Wi-Fi password for all the staff. So if the staff that is no longer with the organization, they will have the password and they can come in, just sit behind your office walls and access your Wi-Fi. So it's important to keep those information confidential and not be publicly available. Health monitoring. Again, it's very important to run in a system to make sure all the devices are in the top health and working well. Windows Hello, again, if your devices are capable of the authenticating through the face recognition or through the biometric, like a finger scanner. So that's, again, it's a great way to kind of provide more security to the devices. And again, security is not just a one-time and set up and done. We always have to make sure our devices are up to date and so on. So in this case, we have Windows update rings and to make sure they're being updated for Windows 10, 11, and so on. And I just noticed that I can talk about this thing for a long time, but I noticed we have reached the time. I'd be happy to answer any question you might have. You can post on chat. We will post this video on our channel too. But last thing I want to finish, Jonathan mentioned about the security and how is your what kind of information you need to present to your insurance company to make sure to prove that your system and device are secure and you're taking every measure. So again, you can come into the reports and compliance report and you can grab this information and kind of be sharing that. So you can look at it, okay, what devices are in compliant, which devices are in grace period. If any device is not compliant, you can remedy those things. And again, our goal is to have a full green here to be able to present it and to say, okay, we are taking all the steps necessary to make sure that your organization and your devices are secure. That's it. I'm going to jump back to the presentation 1 second and kind of encourage you to join our future meeting. We run our solution for success on the third Tuesday of each month at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. So we have lots of great events coming up. So we hope to see you at the next event. If you did enjoy our session today, leave us a review, please. Let us know. And again, we will be posting these videos on our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/pointalliance, and the presentation also will be posted on our website. I hope you did enjoy today's session and you find it informative. And thank you for attending. Have a wonderful day.